This is my review for the instant action and co-op modes, which have been recently added to Star Wars Battlefront 2. Starting off with instant action. This is the first thing that I played after downloading the recent update for the game. Instant action is a mode in which the goal is to go around and capture these command posts. So it's very much like the original Star Wars Battlefront games, and it's a fast-paced mode. You're constantly on the move to the next command post, because if you stay in one place, then the opposing team will capture the command post instead. You have to constantly keep moving. And in a nutshell, the maps are big. There's multiple different command posts for each map. And you have a chance of playing as hero characters. You can set it to where the AI will play as a hero character on the other team. And so this is as close to the original Star Wars Battlefront games as it gets, with this newer version from Electronic Arts. And this is a mode that should have been in the game from the very beginning. And it took them 2 years, damn near, to add this mode to the game. But it's a good thing that they did add the mode. Now, instant action is good, but there are a few problems with it. The most primary problem is that there's a limited number of planets, a severe limited number. There's only 5 planets that are playable in instant action mode. 5. And that is pathetic. I don't know if they're going to expand this mode and add more planets, because there's a lot of different planets in Star Wars Battlefront 2, including planets that they added post-launch. And so I don't know why, it confuses me why they would release a mode like this and there's only 5 playable planets. Another problem with instant action, there's only one playable era in instant action. And so it's like we're going back to what some of the initial issues were with this game when it first came out, where they only have a certain amount of content for each specific era in Star Wars. The only era that's playable in instant action mode is the Clone Wars era, the prequel era. And you can only play either on the Separatist side or the Republic side. The Galactic Civil War from the original Star Wars trilogy, which is the Rebels versus the Empire, none of those planets, characters, or anything having to do with that era is playable. So you have maps like Yavin 4, Hoth, Endor. None of those planets are playable in instant action mode. None of the characters from that era are playable in instant action mode. No Darth Vader, no Luke Skywalker, no Princess Leia, no Han Solo, no Chewbacca, no Boba Fett, no Lando. So that's a big problem. They need to update instant action modes to where that stuff is included. None of the planets or characters from the sequel trilogy are included in instant action mode right now. No Rey, no Kylo Ren, no Finn, no Takodana, no Crate. You can't play a match of instant action and play as the First Order units or the Resistance units. That is not available in instant action mode as it stands right now. Now, I'm sure the development team will go back and fix these things, but this is something that should have been a no-brainer, from the start, when they decided to include this mode. And the last major problem with instant action mode is that if you play on the expert difficulty, which is the highest difficulty that you can set the AI, it's damn near impossible to win. The intelligence of your AI co-op companions playing the match with you, they're not smart enough to really make it fun on higher difficulties like that. Even on medium difficulty, which is what I'm showing right now on Geonosis, the AI is just not smart. I almost lost this match, actually, because they were just not going around and trying to capture command posts. It seems that capturing command posts is something that you actively have to do. It's something that you have to seek out yourself. And so instant action mode is fun, but there's not enough content in it right now to really make it worthwhile for a long-term experience for anyone who just wants to play with bots instead of playing with other people online. And so that's a big problem. Outside of those 3 things, however, the mode is well designed. It feels like classic Star Wars Battlefront, and it's fun enough to where I would recommend anyone interested in this game to give it a shot. And also for the hero characters, they did add some new lines that felt natural. I played as Anakin later in this match, and he mentioned, other characters such as Obi-Wan, Padme even, who's not even in this game.
Padme said tread lightly, but I'm not really sure that's an option here. One time I actually asked Obi-Wan for help. He's nowhere to be found.
Might have missed you.
So I thought that was a neat little thing that they added, was the dialogue for the hero characters. Now, before I go into the second part of this review, I'm going to talk about the new unit that was added, which are the Clone Commandos, very reminiscent of Star Wars Republic Commando, which was an Xbox exclusive that came out 2 console generations ago. That's one of the best Star Wars games that I've played. The Clone Commandos are very different from any other class in this game. They actually reload, like you actually have to reload your weapon. Their weapons don't overheat, and so that's very different. They have a grenade launcher, and they have a pushback ability that has a very specific range, and you have to be pretty close up to whoever you're shooting at, whoever your target is, in order to use that. And they also have a separate ability, I think, that strengthens, I guess, how much damage they take, or rather decreases how much damage they take. They're very sturdy, and getting accurate shots with them is a pretty easy thing to do. They're great at long range, they're great at close range, and they're a lot of fun to play. I'd say they're the next best class in the game behind the Death Troopers. And so I'm glad that they added the Clone Commandos. So now I'm going to talk about co-op mode. And the co-op mode in this game is addictive. Like, I got a rush when I was playing co-op mode. It's been a while since I've had fun on that level with a video game. Like, I'm not even joking. So what co-op mode is essentially you have up to 4 players, including yourself. You enter a map, and you have a bunch of AI companions on top of that. And you have to basically capture these command posts, similar to instant action. Now, you don't have to capture all of them, like in instant action, but you do have to capture one. And there's 4 stages in one match. So if you successfully capture a command post within a certain time limit, which if the time limit runs out, then if you contest that command post, as long as you have units from your team at that command post, then you'll go into what's called overtime. If the AI wipes out your team, then that bar will decrease until it's gone, and then you've lost the match. Basically, you go around, you capture these command posts within a certain time limit. If you're successful, then you'll go to the next stage. If you're successful with the second command post, then you go to the third stage. If you're successful capturing the third one, then you go to the final stage. And if your team captures all of the command posts successfully, then you win the match. Your team wins the match. And so that's the basics of how the mode works. But what makes co-op so fun, and what makes it stand out from any other mode in the game, is that you're literally fighting waves upon waves of enemies that are so large and so enormous that consistently you're pretty much overrun the entire match. That's how many enemy units are on screen at any single given time. Now, before I mentioned that instant action was fast-paced, co-op mode is just pure insanity. There's so many enemies on screen that you can't just focus on one single target for too long. And you cannot just rush in. You really have to work with your teammates. There was one match I was playing where there was one guy standing in the background trying to play as the Specialist class, which is the sniper class in Star Wars Battlefront 2. And he was trying to snipe targets from a distance. And because of him, we ended up losing the match. Co-op mode is really meant for either the Assault class or the Heavy class, or the Enforcer class, depending on which class you want to play as. And there's so many enemies on screen that the hero characters are pretty much useless. Like, I tried to play as Darth Maul on the map for Naboo. I died within seconds. And I'm pretty damn good with the hero characters, especially Darth Maul. And so I really like co-op mode because it's a mode that encourages restraint. You know, you really do have to just stand at a safe spot and try and take down as many targets as you can and try not to die, because if you die, there's a little time limit that you have to wait through before you can respawn again. And if you die too many times, that could end up costing your team the match. And so it's extremely fast paced. It gets your blood pumping. And I think they added enough maps to where it's pretty fun to play. Of course, they can always go back and add more. And if there's anything I would say that's an issue with co-op mode, it's the same issue as instant action, where you can only play the prequel era, which is the Separatists versus the Republic. So the Galactic Civil War from the original Star Wars trilogy and the planets and characters from the Star Wars sequel trilogy are not available for co-op mode right now. That could be improved over time. That's what I got to say about instant action and co-op mode. They're welcome new additions to Star Wars Battlefront 2, and they're very different. Like, they stand out from the other modes that are in the game, and they're modes that I could see myself playing definitely over time. And for anyone who is interested in this game, or for anyone who does play this game, I definitely would recommend at least trying out both instant action and co-op. Now, the only other content that EA has announced so far as any new modes or maps or anything like that, is they're adding a new map from Star Wars Episode 9. Now, I am going to go see Star Wars Episode 9 when it comes out. It's not really a movie I'm looking forward to in any way, shape, or form, but I am going to go see that movie, so I'm very curious to know what the map is that they're adding. It may be something that's already been shown in the trailers for the movie, or it could be something completely different that hasn't been shown in the trailers. I don't know, obviously, because the movie's not out yet, and EA hasn't revealed what the map is. When they do release that map, I may make a video on that. But for now, that's my review.